Hi, and welcome back to Geno's Picks. A big smile after another big week, guys. 3-1 last week, 9-3 on the year, 75%. That's a pretty number, people. So let's get right to the picks. But first, you know what really grinds my gears? NFL coaches who pussyfoot around terrible quarterback play. When I give you a bad week or have a bad set on stage, believe me, I hear about it. That's why I love how Joe Philbin has called out Ryan Tannehill for his awful play, as much as I hate how Rex Ryan is saying I have full confidence in Geno Smith, who keeps making the same mistakes. Really? 6 trips into the red zone Monday night that led to 1 TD, 1 pick, and 4 field goals. If New Yorkers wanted to see that many kicks, they'd head to Radio City Music Hall, people. 6 trips, 1 TD, countless ugly passes. You know what? Maybe the Jets should play in Ferguson, Mississippi, because that's the only other place where you're going to see 6 shots that nobody is still even sure what they were aiming at. And now, let's get to the picks. My first pick, the Redskins are giving 3.5 to the Giants on Thursday night. G-Men fans everywhere breathed a sigh of relief this past Sunday as the Giants beat the Texans at MetLife 30-17, and in doing so, avoided a second consecutive 0-6 start. But did they beat the Texans, or did they do what I said would happen at the opening of last week's video? I promised Texans fans that Ryan Fitzpatrick is nothing more than a glorified backup that can only manage a game and rarely, if ever, go out and win one for you. So what happened? He was woeful Sunday. He threw 3 picks. And you know why? Because the Giants were ahead of them and the Texans were finally playing from behind. And let me tell you, the Giants are the best team they've faced all season. Yeah, I know you're saying, well, Geno, they played the Redskins in week 1. So what? That was the Redskins led by RG3. And since week 1, the Redskins and RG3's ankle have done a complete 180. And now Kirk Cousins is leading the team. And he knows that job is his to lose. And he's been enjoying it, especially having guys like Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon. And he threw for 427 yards last week to them. And I think that's the difference this week, as the Giants will have a lot more to handle in Cousins than they did in Fitzpatrick. Because anyone that thinks that Ryan Fitzpatrick is a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins probably has parents that were Cousins. Take the Redskins, lay the 3.5. My next pick, the Dolphins are giving 3.5 at the Raiders in Wembley Stadium. Wow, how cocky is Roger Goodell with his NFL product that he's sending these 2 disasters with a combined 1-5 record to face off at London's Wembley Stadium. This is such a garbage game, it shouldn't be played in England. It should be played in Staten Island, people. There's no home field advantage here, and anyone that follows my podcast knows what I said about young Derek Carr last week, that not playing in front of the home crowd actually may take some pressure off the young kid, and it certainly did, as he came within a drop pass of taking the Patriots into overtime last week at Foxborough. Look for more of the same from young Derek, who improves more and more every week. Unlike this guy, Ryan Tannehill, who continues to regress so much that this week Joe Philbin just about came out and said he may be losing his job to Matt Moore, who redefines the phrase less is more. Yeah, that's the best picture we can find of him. Look, I don't know if you can even blame Tannehill at this point, because a year removed from the Incognito and Jonathan Martin scandal, and his offensive line is still depleted, and he's often playing from behind anyway, since the Miami defense has such a weak pass rush that last week it made Alex Smith look like Johnny Unitas. Wow, Miami. The last time I saw lines pushed around that easily, I was doing it myself with a credit card. Incidentally, I was in Miami too. People, take the Raiders and the 3.5 you're getting. Why can't the Raiders get good so we can use those pictures more? All right, my next pick, the Eagles are getting 5 from the 49ers in San Fran. Really? I know the Eagles are on the road facing San Francisco, who used to have a good defense, until the unit apparently got together in the offseason and must have watched The Longest Yard and decided, wow, it'd be a lot more fun to play in prison. Look, now the Niners have a ton of problems on the offensive side of the ball, and they're falling apart in the second half. In fact, are you ready for a staggering set of numbers, people? In the second half of the last 2 Niner collapses, they've been outscored 38-3. But the Eagles, whose offense gets better and better not only as the season progresses, but more importantly, as the game does, have outpaced opponents in the final 2 quarters 74-24. And you know why? Because as much as Kerry Williams wants to complain they work too hard in practice, I think that translates into how prepared you are to play a full game. And that's why the Niners are in trouble. And maybe what they don't need going into this game is an 8-point or a 20-point cushion to win. What they need are couch cushions, because at least you can usually find 4 good quarters in those. Take the Eagles and the 5 you're getting. Which brings me to my Double Your Money Monday Night bet, and they're 3-0 so far, so you best be doubling. The Patriots are giving 3.5 to the Chiefs in Kansas City. People, the Patriots will always be Bill Belichick's Patriots, and they don't give a crap about your fantasy players or your gambling lines. They just go out and always find ways to win ball games. Of course, there's an occasional hiccup every now and then. But the Chiefs, meanwhile, with their win last week, have now actually won 3 of their last 9. And get this, those 3 wins have come against powerhouses like the Redskins, Raiders, and Dolphins, who have a combined winning percentage of 229. And I hate to tell you, Andy Reid, 229 is not an average to brag about or that's going to get you to come back next year. Unless you're Derek Jeter. People, take the Patriots, lay the 3.5. Those are Geno's picks.